Christi, but that puts the storm surge on the right side up into Port Lavaca, Port O'Connor, up that way. Now, good thing is, where the strongest winds are going to be, close to the center, it's a fairly unpopulated area there to the east of Corpus Christi. Little bit of good. But the storm surge is going to be pushed up in here, this Matagorda Bay, and that's just going to be monstrous. And here is the forecast from the National Hurricane Center that was anticipating, based on what the storm might do in kind of a worst case scenario. And this looks like a not absolute worst case, but reasonable worst case for the areas there around Port Lavaca and Port O'Connor. And look at these numbers up in the red. That's 9 to 12 feet above the land, above the ground, and waves on top of that. So anything in these red areas is going to be destroyed by this storm surge, and it's going to be a large part of Matagorda Bay there to the east of Corpus Christi, and that's why, no doubt, people started getting really scared, and hopefully they're not caught in their car, as Jim said. Tremendously dangerous. 125 miles an hour is the estimate. I've been checking the recon. Don't see any indications of continued strengthening. We thought it might happen, but we also notice when we look at the radar close up that the eye wall is not really filling in here. On the other hand, there is enough of an eye wall, and it's kind of on the northwest side, Jim Cantori, which is your side. I think it's just going to miss you. Unless it makes some kind of crazy jog, I think it's just going to miss the city of Corpus Christi. But boy, is it going to be close on that northwest side. But we were afraid, because everything we know is the conditions really are good enough for continued intensification, but it's just not happening. This eye wall is not filling in all the way around. So it seems pretty steady state here between now and the next couple hours, when we are going to get that eye wall moving ashore, and then the eye itself will move ashore. Now, that doesn't change the overall threat from this storm, which is tremendous storm surge on the right side of it, and even some of that storm surge moving down Matagorda Bay onto the left side of the storm, and then the incredible rainfall. Here's the super close-up view there, and there you can see how close the eye wall is. So look, it's right in there. That's it. Here's Corpus Christi over there. That's where Jim Cantori is. Here goes the storm. So look how close that's going to come. Right on the edge. Jim, you're going to be at the extreme left edge, which is, based on the radar, the most intense part of the hurricane right now in terms of the enhanced view, the enhanced returns. Take it away, Jim Cantori.
Brian, I wanted to ask you something in terms of the steering. We know that hurricanes, as they come ashore, especially some ones of this magnitude, do wobble a little bit. They have little coronal circulations. But given the lack of steering, I wanted to ask you how the interaction with the friction of the coastal bend may play a role in maybe pulling it south or bouncing it north. Is there anything you could add to that?
Well, sometimes as storms come ashore, the friction of the air coming over the land, it hits the coastline and it deviates to the left, which has a tendency to tighten up the storm a little bit, right? So that can happen. So sometimes when you see the wind on the right side hit the coastline, you actually see some enhanced cells develop on the right front part of the hurricane. Now, there are other forces in play here that are, for whatever reason that we don't necessarily understand, not allowing this eye wall to completely fill in. So that may be a good sign that it's not going to be a dramatic effect from that, Jim, because we don't really know why sometimes, in apparently perfect conditions, the eye walls fill in and sometimes they don't. But you're absolutely right that as the air comes and hits the coast, things happen with the circulation, and you can get a little displacement. You can also get a tightening of the circle there, and we'll just have to see how that happens. But boy, this left side of it, Jim, is going to be so close to Corpus Christi. I mean, you're gonna feel it. I mean, in a big way. A couple hours from now, I'd say 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, something like that, you're going to feel the peak winds of the left side of the hurricane.
Well, I'm really worried about this traffic on the roads, Brian, because as you know, okay, if it misses us, that means the eye wall's going just to my north. And guess which way I-37 goes? It goes to the north and west, out of Corpus Christi. All right, so those cars have got to get off the road. They've got to get off the road, especially with the wind that we see in that eye wall. Now, we understand, too, from the police They are not going to go out there. They cannot go out in these kind of conditions. They will not be going out. So folks are essentially on their own out there with this. Guys, if we could have a radar show up here. Catherine was telling me I wanted to show you something interesting on the radar here. If you look inside the eye, so Catherine, you can follow me on this. There's a lot of debris in there, kind of like you would see, with a tornado, but it's not debris. That is more than likely birds that have come in from the deep tropics, and they're kind of finding a home in the eye. They can't fly into the eye wall, so it's calm in the eye, and so they're kind of making their way up, if you will, because of the storm, and that's what you see by some of those little debris signatures. They're not super sharp, but that's what that is, because typically there's no radar return in the eye, so it's got to be something, and we know it's not debris out in the middle of the ocean, so it's got to be birds, and the radar does a great job in picking that up. Again, guys, dangerous situation unfolding here as we watch this thing come ashore over the next couple of hours. We've had power outages, we've had power lines down, we have roads in some cases, especially to my north, where Brian's talking about the bigger surge that are underwater. So there's no wind blowing the water parallel, if you will, to Corpus Christi there. Up to my north, the winds are much more northeasterly, and that means it is pushing and shoving that water into the coast, forever changing it. And it will do that because of the hours, the longevity that this is going to occur. We'll be right back with the latest on Harvey.
Bill assumed it was a costume party. Bill assumed his mayo was the best choice. Assumed nothing. Just like the leading brand, Kraft Real Mayo is made with high-quality ingredients at a price you can feel good about. No wonder Kraft is so good.
I take pictures of sunrises, but with my back pain, I couldn't sleep and get up in time. Then I found Aleve PM.
Aleve PM is the only one to combine a safe sleep aid plus the 12-hour pain-relieving strength of Aleve.
I'm back.
Aleve PM for a better AM.
Buy One, Take One is back, starting at $12.99 at Olive Garden. Come in for a fan favorite like smoked mozzarella chicken here. And leave with a great meal too. Buy One, Take One. Hurry in, it's only for a limited time at Olive Garden.
Experience advanced safety technology at the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event before it ends.
Choose from the IS Turbo, ES350, or NX Turbo for $299 a month for 36 months if you lease now.
Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
These scenes at a hospital in Central Africa may look like an emergency, but at Save the Children, we see this throughout the world every single day. Among the new arrivals is Kayembe. So frail, he can no longer stand. Kayembe is almost 2 years old, but his weight is less than half that of a healthy child his age.
5 grammes de malnutrition.
Kayembe is slowly dying. He needs food, and he needs medicine urgently. These are the basic things that you can help us provide by calling the number on your screen now and giving just $10 a month. That's less than 35 cents a day. We know what it takes to save lives. It takes us, you, and as little as $10 a month. Save the Children is on the ground in the U.S. and all over the world, but we need your help to deliver life-saving medicine, medical care, clean water, and nutritious food to children in desperate need. For a child as critically ill as Kayembe, a single phone call can make the difference. Please, pick up the phone now. For less than 35 cents a day, you can help us save a child's life. Call now, and you'll receive this special Save the Children tote bag as a thank you for your support and a reminder of the difference you're making in children's lives. Every day, 19,000 children die from preventable causes. That's one child every 5 seconds. But it doesn't have to be this way. For just $10 a month, you can make a difference. Please, don't put this off. We need your help to get these children the critical medicine, food, and clean water they urgently need.
S'il n'y a pas assez de nourriture à donner aux enfants, les enfants vont mourir.
Call Save the Children now and help us save a child's life.
With Scotch Blue Platinum Painter's Tape, you can prep any angle quicker and easier. 3M's advanced poly material helps stop paint seepage, and it's easy to remove in one long pull.